Obviously, the first stimulus check of $1,200 was not enough for many people considering the situation that we're in. So will there be a second round of $2,000 checks and an additional $1,000 after? Let's find out. In this video, I want to go over the second round of stimulus checks and what is to come from the federal government. So let's get right to it. If you have already subscribed to my channel, thank you very much. If you have not, please consider subscribing because there's going to be a lot more updates from me about the stimulus check payments as well as personal finance tips in the future. Many people have already seen their stimulus checks hit their bank accounts, while others are still waiting for the first wave of checks to arrive in the mail. Personally, my family and we haven't got anything yet. But either way, a large number of Americans can agree that the first $1,200 payment won't be enough to help them through the ongoing crisis. And seems like lawmakers on the Hill feel the same way, which is a good news. A second stimulus check may be on the way, and it could also come in many forms, not just one-time payment. In my opinion, that is a very good news because many people need help with a lot more than what was originally anticipated. So let's go over the latest proposal and what it means for your wallet. So recently, a bill was introduced from the lawmakers called the Emergency Money for the People Act. The bill seeks to help Americans aged 16 and over earning less than $130,000 a year, okay? So if you're in that category, that is good. The stimulus proposed is $2,000 a month for at least 6 months or until the unemployment levels of pre-COVID-19 thresholds are reached again. Now, for married couples, the bill will seek a payment of $4,000 per month for those that are earning less than $260,000 a year. Qualified families would also be earning an additional $500 per child for up to 3 children. Now, in addition to the Emergency Money for the People Act, the Rent and Mortgage Cancellation Act is also in the works. A video about that specifically is coming out tomorrow, so stay tuned. However, as the name implies, it will cancel rent and mortgage payments on Americans' primary residence for up to a full year. Given that housing is the typical American's largest monthly expense, it would certainly bring a lot of relief, especially in the absence of stimulus checks. So as we can see so far, even though many Americans have already been paid the original $1,200 stimulus check, it seems like the President and Congress are in agreement that the first round of stimulus payments may not be enough to help people get back on their feet right now. Another proposal that bill is working on is the Payroll Tax Credit. That would apply to employees who were laid off and then subsequently rehired by their former employers. This plan would be, in my opinion, a win-win for both the employees and the employers because the employee will get a higher paycheck and then the employer would save from payroll taxes. However, if you're unemployed or retired, you probably wouldn't qualify for that benefit. One more thing that will help many Americans is that the House, the Senate, and the presidential campaigns have made a big push this year for student loan forgiveness. Former Vice President Joe Biden has called for a student loan forgiveness program for over $700 billion. Members of Congress also called for student loan forgiveness in the House and the Senate. Given that many student loan benefits in the CARE Act are already in place, including suspension of federal student loan payments, 0% interest on those federal student loans, and no federal student loan debt collection, it's a little bit unlikely that something like that will pass to completely forgive your student loan debt, but we never know. Something could be included in the next stimulus bill. And there are some other things that lawmakers are working on right now with some other stimulus ideas. For example, extending the unemployment insurance, providing hazardous pay to frontline workers, and increasing food aid as well. So we really have to just be patient, wait a little bit, and see how the government is willing to help we the people during those crazy times. It's too soon to tell exactly what the next round of stimulus would look like for Americans. or whether there will be more payments or for longer time of period, like they're discussing $1,000 per month right now for up to 6 months. But if you're struggling to pay your bills right now, even with the initial stimulus package in hand, you shouldn't hesitate to reach out to your lenders, to your service providers, and ask for relief. For example, if you have a mortgage, pick up the phone, call your lender, and ask them to put your loan on forbearance for temporarily. This will save you some money for a while. If you're a renter as well, explain the situation to your landlord and ask them to cut you a little bit of a slack. A lot of landlords will be willing to work with people and their tenants specifically right now because simply they don't have an alternative as well. Next, if you can pay your utility bills, ask your service provider for an extension. And if you owe money on a credit card, talk to your issuer about deferring some of those payments while you're out of work or having hard times making those minimum payments. A second stimulus check is most likely in the cards. What exactly those amounts will look like and when those checks will be sent, we don't know yet. But rather than sitting back and waiting for those money to come in, take some steps now, buy yourself some breathing room, and most of all, stay positive. So I hope you like this video. Like I said, a $2,000 stimulus check is on the works for up to 6 months. Also, they're talking about an extra $1,000 after that. So we will see what comes out of all those talks up the hill. Thank you for pushing your financial mindset towards a better reality. Until next time, stay positive, master your finances, and take a good care of yourself and those around you.